0. So storing values to our structure. So let us run this code. If it's really work, let's check. Wow! So it's working. So let me share first my executable files. Okay, so examples na may classmate karon na Melbert ng pangalan, yung middle name. So this is how the way works ang atong /n and also /t. If you can see sa atong running program, let me first share naman. It's already shared. So makita nato nga we have nanay tab, nanay space karon na kay 5 spaces after sa imong colon. Lahat mo gawa sa imong input. Example, my middle name is Recto. No, I'm pamangkin ko ni Ralph Recto. For those who haven't know yet. So, my last name is Bunutan. Akong address is Pagkapurok 2, Noria. Temco, Lianga, STS. Taga Surigao ko, Surigao del Sur. So that's how gets work, no? So bisag na kay mga special character and also you have spacing or space, no, unless dili ka mo enter. So kanang whole karon nga imong gi-type will be treated as the value. Iyang ibutang karon kang address. And I have here the course. So akong course is master in MS Master of Science in Information. Master of Science in Information Technology. I think tech na lang. Contact number 342-2296. Muna yung number sa atong Dean's Office. Local 124. So email address, so you can use my email. If you have concern, gusto ninyo nga inyong isulti privately, dito sa atong GC, so you can email me also at carso.edu.ph. Okay? So akong age, so I'm still 22. So 22, pila na kay years? Mga 7 years ago. So ID number na ako, it's 247. I forgot my ID number na. I forgot my ID number na. So 123.228 for my masters, pero dili na siya correct. Enter year level. Sorry. I forgot. Our wrong ang ID number nga gi-input na ako since our ID number is an integer. So that is why it's now ending no ang atong program. So let's run again. Let's try to run our code again. And let me share my screen. My executable file. So let's go back. Age 22. ID it's 23. Your level is 50. Okay. So it's working properly ang atong program. So let's now proceed to implementing or our implementation with how are we going to access this data and i-print din nato. Okay? So let's go back to our code blocks. Okay. So mao ni siya ang accessing the value of structure. So I will give only one example, then you can na continue the program implementation. No, akong i-require this sa inyo for atong program implementation. So I'll be using printer. And this time, so let's make it a little bit upgraded the program. So instead of using variable, a simple variable which can only hold one value at a time. So let's make this variable name or this variable an array. Sir, pwede din siya gyapon, sir, no? So therefore, we can now store 50 records of student. No, so meaning, so part of your activity, so you're going to enroll your classmates. This will be a very interesting activities. So you're going to create an enrollment system for our section, which is depende sa section kung asa mo naka-assign. So I will give it as one of your challenge. So I will give the complete details sa inyong activity later on, no, sa atong ako rin i-open ng activity. Okay, let's proceed. So let's create this variable as an array, no, instead of a simple variable which can only hold one values at a time, no, as based sa atong implementation. So this time, and okay, so just a little bit of upgrade also. Delete na lang para dili kayo malibog. So let's proceed now with so meaning for this program, mangayag siya of 50. So I'm thinking actually nga kaning nga program it's customized, yeah. Meaning you can input 5 lang sa, you can input 10, you can input another na pod 16, so on so forth. Pero that will make our program pod complex. So inainayin lang nato for this example. Later on kamo na magbuhat ato. So, di ba basta repetitive ang atong execution or implementation, meaning since magnay matag input for 50 student records, so therefore we are going to execute this one kani silang tanan 50 times. Tama? No, 50 times no. So therefore, kung ato siyang tinambanon, if we will not be using this type of code, no, we will be writing this code 50 times also. Tama? And that would be a burden and not a good practice in programming. So therefore, we will be using looping this time. So basta na yung mga repetition, especially if you will be working with array. So more likely and commonly and most of the time you will be using looping, no, to traverse your array in terms of accessing, storing, so on and so forth, manipulating your array. Looping gina siya pyramid. Looping. Okay, let's proceed. So I'll be using while since no, we'll be using for this time since for the last na mga example, I'm using while loop. So gamitan po natin si for loop kay asin mangluod. Okay. Oh my. So good programming practice. So make sure that you indent your program based on asa siya nga block or side. Though it's not really required, no, since dili man siya Python, na you have to follow strictly ang indentation. Pero for readability of your program, so make sure nga nag-indentation. Meaning, kung naka-indent siya dire, so it indicates that this codes is under your for na body sa imong for. So for looping, so int I is equal to 0. So you have your initialization, then you have your condition where I is less than 50, semicolon, then you have, okay, your reinitialization. So I++, then this time, okay, now let's change this into, we'll be using I. So ato na kopyahon. Copy, print. So I hope you're already familiar with this, with using looping. So instead of manually assigning index value like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, since ato naman siyang i-loop, so make sure nga, okay, so dili na pud nimo siya specify ang yang index diri, otherwise no kadto ra siya nga index ang masudlan. Sabot na ako, if magbutang tag 0 dire, sa index 0 lang ang masudlan, permi og data. Dili siya mo-proceed kang 1 padulong kang 49 index, which is wrong. Ano man, no, ang last lang nga input ang ma-butang or ang ma-store. The rest, dili siya ma-store. So it's a little bit upgrade, no, kaya para po challenging ang atong the way we are going to access the value. Para nindot po siya. In terms of accessing, I'm going also to copy this code. My name is Sir, gusto na mag-challenge. Kopya man lagi ni Sir. Okay, kapoy man mag. Okay. So I'm using now Y. So change lang natin to Y. Later on lang ha. Wait lang natin. The same lang. Anyway, it's the same on how you're going to access the value of your array and also your basic data type or data structure is the same. No, mga printf lang mga bay. It's pretty much the same. So this time, ato nang kopyahan. And X. So oh no! Wait. So you have version T or version S. So ato lang siyang so this is what I mean na the same line. Then let's delete this one. So nag-go ang kasar. Ito nagawago. Okay lagi kaya ita. So same lang. So as you can see, it's actually the same. Now you have the stream or string na input or parameter. Then you indicate that the format specifier as a representative, wherein the value from this storage will be displayed. Hey, iwan ang E. Ang inconvenience lang dito is writing. So I hope that you still follow sa atong implementation. So okay, this is printing ha. This is accessing the value sa atong structure. So as I have said, it's pretty much the same with accessing sa value using array and also your basic yung mga data types. almost done. So have patience lang, gamay. Okay, slow guys, sir, og hands. At least dili po kayo mamalibot. We're almost done. Let's see if it's really working. Of course, in printing, you're not going to. Okay. Dili na mo dapat magbutang og ampersand. Otherwise, ang memory address ang magawas. So anyway, if you'll be working with your web application no, later on, if you are going to create system na, so more likely you'll be dealing with this type of codes. No, much more, much longer and much complicated. Mas taas na kayo. Ma-experience na rin yun. So much better if mag-anad-anad na mo with your programming. So this is just a review of your programming to or into your intermediate programming. But with this review, so I will not be running through with different string functions and also your text file. The text file is very simple. As long as you know how to, this one, okay, ang purpose for the text file is only for permanent. No, katong i-access na nimo ang document or you're going to create document na sa imong hard drive or katong sa imong permanent na storage. Kaya para by the time nga mag-off na ang imong program, no, ma-store nimo ang imong mga data. And later on, if imo na pong i-run, balik ang imong program so you can access the data sa imong text file or imong notepad para maimo na pong i-store balik sa imong running program. So I think we're done here. So we can already proceed with our last topic for our review, which is the pointer. So I think this is, so let's try to run this program if it's really working. Sorry, so may kulang. But instead of 50, so let's try only 2. Okay, it's pretty much ang dami nating anuhin. Ito lang sa. Hindi kayo tamad. Abusar. 4, so what? Okay. So we haven't yet changed the variable y. Oh, so it's running now. Okay, so let's try my brother. No, we have here Jimbert. His name, middle name is Brecto. Bunutan. Address, it's Uboy. Course, it's Corsonada ratong iya. Oh, sorry. Age is, I think Jimbert is already 26. ID 45, your level is first year. Oh my God. It's skipping. Wait. I don't know why it's skipping. Let me share my. So it's now running. So maybe it's because of we skip some inputs. So let's try. Yeah. Then it's working. So I think that's it for our structure implementation. So we already discussed about structure.